Okay. So the first thing here is that you need to know the first thing you need to know here is that direction will move from one time frame to another. Okay, so we are going to have a daily to daily storyline, a weekly to weekly uh, direction. So whether you are trading 4 hour to 4 hour, for instance, if I take this trade on a 4 hour chart, if I take a 4 hour engulfing, if I take a 4 hour engulfing sell, okay,
Mm-hmm.
my first point of that I have to be looking at is where price is likely to reach on the 4 hour, which is be the next 4 hour engulfing. Okay, it's going to be the next 4 hour engulfing. So that's the first thing we've learned about direction. So price is leaving here. Okay, it can do this, come back, but the nearest point is this. All right, so this is my direction. So that's what we've learned so far. So if this is a weekly zone, this is also a weekly zone. If H1 zone, this is going to be H1 zone. If it's a daily zone, you're going to look for the nearest daily zone. Do you understand? So that's the
Yes.
first point. So that's the first rule of engagement. So the second rule of engagement is simple. Okay. Now, that is called the second rule of engagement is validation of the engulfing. So I'll call it a validation. Now, by validation, I mean that when you select a weekly engulfing, like I have done here, this weekly engulfing has been selected. Okay. Price has to come to the weekly engulfing and create a daily engulfing. So price touches the weekly engulfing zone. So you have to mark from week to week. When it touches it, it has to give you a daily engulfing.
Yeah.
Okay. So if this is, we are looking for sell, right? So when
Yeah.
price comes, it has to form bearish engulfing. Once price comes and creates that daily engulfing after touching that weekly engulfing, its bearish direction is confirmed. So it means that price is likely to reach the next weekly engulfing. Okay,
Yeah.
there's going to be roadblocks. We'll talk about them. But what that means is that when there's a weekly engulfing and price comes and touches that weekly engulfing and create a daily engulfing, price is likely to reach the closest engulfing on the opposite side. Okay, so we said weekly direction start with price forming a daily engulfing after touching the weekly engulfing or engulfing field. So you have a weekly zone. Price touches it, creates what? A daily engulfing. Direction is confirmed and starting. Okay, if it's a daily zone, so what I'm going to show you is that when it comes to direction and setup, I have a table. So on direction, anything direction on the higher time frame, like weekly, daily, or even monthly, okay, we are using one time frame lower for confirmation. So if it's a monthly, you want to use weekly for validation. If it's weekly, you want to use daily for validation. If it's daily, you want to use H4 for validation. I hope this one is clear.
Yes.
But for any other time frame lower than daily, H4, your validation, H4, your validation is going to be two time frame lower, which is M30. H1, your validation is going to be two time frame lower, which is M15. M30, your validation is going to be M5. Okay? And M5, you don't need any validation. Everything ends at M5. All right. So because you want direction and it is daily, and it's going to be daily, daily direction, you want 4 hour engulfing to be created after touching it. Okay. Now, in all the things I'm teaching, the most important thing is not even the engulfing, it's the engulfing field. Why? Have you done a bit of smart money?
Yes.
Okay. So you know that in smart money, there's something called a break in structure.
Yeah.
Okay. That break in structure is what we term as engulfing field. Okay. Because the market was going up. There's an engulfing here. This is an engulf. Okay. So an engulfing field is simply that market has broken structure. So we went up and came down. You get it?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
most important thing is that after this daily has created an engulfing field, you can check to see, that is the third rule of engagement. If the daily create an engulfing and at the same time create a daily engulfing field, you have chopped lotto. Well, okay. Are you Ghanaian?
I'm Nigerian.
Nigerian. So you know
Yeah.
lottery. You chop lotto. Uh-huh. Okay. So now, if the daily has created an engulfing field, it's a straight confirmation, right? If the daily
Mhm.
hasn't created an engulfing field yet, this daily engulfing that has been created, you go to 4 hour and see if you are going to see an engulfing field in it. Okay. So that's the third rule of engagement, which is called additional confirmation. Okay. So let's talk about the first one. So the first one, the second rule of engagement, you have a weekly engulfing. Can you see? You have a weekly engulfing here. You have a weekly engulfing field here. We have a weekly engulfing field here. Okay? So those are our zone. Now look at what price did when price hit those level. When price hit the weekly engulfing, this is the daily chart. This is weekly. This is daily. When
Mhm.
price hit the weekly engulfing field, engulfing zone, it created a daily engulfing. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. When price came back to this engulfing field zone, it created a daily engulfing. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. When price came back to this engulfing zone, it created a daily engulfing. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And when it came back again here, it created a daily engulfing.
Yes.
Okay. So if price comes and create a daily engulfing, it suggests that, right, this is weekly. We are in this weekly zone. If there was a weekly zone above, or when you do roadblock, you understand, right? It means that price is going to the next weekly. Once this daily has confirmed, once it hasn't reached there, we keep on buying every pullback. Okay. I'm going to teach you that one. It is called BPE. BPE. Okay. So you have a breakout, you have a pullback, and you have entry. So breakout, pullback, entry. Breakout, pullback, entry. Breakout, pullback, entry. Breakout, was that breakout? Okay, no breakout. Breakout, pullback, entry. Breakout, pullback, entry. Okay, right. Breakout, pullback, entry. Okay, so once price creates touches the zone, when you touch the zone and create a weekly engulfing, you know definitely, I didn't mark this one, that price is going at least to the nearest weekly engulfing. So from here to here, you are a buyer. When you reach here, you are looking for confirmation. If you don't have validation, you hold your trade to the next zone. If you don't have validation, you hold your trade. Okay, please, do you understand
Okay.
this so far?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right.